Coach, what was the off-season like around here after the way things ended to close last season?
Man, it was kind of a surprising deal, honestly. You know, you think after the shocker that we went through, all sitting in there watching that selection show, and none of us expecting that to be the case. You know, I think there would have been probably some people that expected some pouting and some complaining and some. Man, we got hosed on this deal, and it was actually the exact opposite. You know, as bad as we felt for those seniors and those guys going out that way, that was really disappointing. But for the guys that were coming back, they just immediately they put their head down and they went to work, and it has been a season like no other in terms of what they did with strength and conditioning and what they've done in the summer. And so I was just really proud of how they rallied and their perseverance and their persistence and the way they just took it, and they just definitely used it as fuel for the fire.
You worry about that being lingering as you go into the new year?
I would, probably normally, but this team is old, is what we keep saying. We have many super seniors, and that leadership and that level of maturity has definitely spread to the rest of the team. And so I think it'll be the exact opposite. I think it's we've already turned the page and moved on, and know that obviously we can't do anything about that, but we can learn from it, and we can know what to do to make sure that doesn't ever happen in the future. And I think our guys have already done exactly that.
You said you're about to go talk to your freshman class. Kind of just tell us about some of those incoming freshmen.
And it's a really talented class. I think the first thing that we notice whenever you see them is just the sheer size of those freshmen. They are all big and athletic and long, and it's a really exciting group. I think there's a few guys that may have a hard time on most years being able to break into a position that could give us some help and be able to contribute, but I think this class definitely has 3 or 4 that could definitely do that, just with their ability and their experience and the things that they bring to the table. I think there'll be a few that surprise some people and are able to help us win on Saturdays.
You mentioned it being an old team. When's the last time you feel like you have come into a team where you just say, we don't have a lot of experience? It seems like every year you guys just have a lot of starters coming back.
Yeah, you know, I think we kind of believe in that mantra of reload, not rebuild. But this is a unique situation. You know, those guys all got an extra year, COVID year, if you want to call it that, and the majority of them took advantage of that. So it truly is. I mean, guys that have, you know, we had a show of hands of guys that have played in 20, 30, 40 games in their career, and that's almost unheard of. And we're going to have close to 40 seniors, and so. Anytime you have that, it's a mature team, but it's an exciting team, and they've just done a great job in leading these newcomers already.
What about the motivation of Dave Campbell's Texas football picked you to win the conference this year?
Well, nobody has a copy of Dave Campbell's yet, so you're lucky. I haven't heard one word about that from our guys. Obviously, I haven't mentioned it to them because you know how we do as coaches, we really don't care about that. But I really haven't heard one word about that, and they know that you have to give that the attention it deserves, which is none, because that's not gonna win any game. That's not gonna make one tackle. It's not gonna make one first down. So we're just gonna control the things that we can, and that's how we prepare and that's how we perform.
What position is the biggest question mark going into this season?
That's a good question too. I think the obvious one is everybody says you're breaking in a new quarterback, and everybody kind of starts to focus there. And Galen Glenn has had an absolutely phenomenal spring and summer, and we're really excited about what he can do at that position. And he's going to have first crack at it, and I think he's going to be a phenomenal player for us. And so I think other than that, you just have to figure out who the role players are, because we have so many guys that have played so many snaps on both sides of the ball. You obviously got to fill a hole at linebacker there and one at corner, and we think we have guys that can be able to step in there that have played before and played at a high level. And so I'd say that would probably be the 2 positions that you kind of look at. On the defensive side would be outside linebacker and a corner, and then offensively would be the quarterback, and then figuring out who those guys are going to make plays on special teams as well.
You mentioned to your team after the final game last year, and I saw it from Cody's video of, you said if we don't get into the tournament, then the system is flawed. Has there been any changes to the system and how the playoffs are figured out?
Actually, what I said was the system is not flawed, it's broken. And
yes.
Unfortunately, there has been no changes, not one. And so we know that there is one thing that you have to do in order to guarantee you a spot in the dance, and that's to win your conference. And so that's what you got to do. And I don't think there's any surprise to that moving forward. And I think with the way they've actually changed the numbers, it's going to be even more difficult to be able to get in if you're not a conference champion. And so we got to take care of business from the very beginning.
They did add one more. There was one more conference that gets an auto spot,
Well,
right?
the teams dropped. You used to have 7 teams
Oh,
to have
okay.
an AQ, and now they dropped it to 6, which actually there's more AQs than there are spots in the bracket now. Exactly. That was our same response right there. So we're trying to figure that one out ourselves.
How does that work?
We have no idea. Win your conference is all I know.
Good?
All good?
Thanks, Coach.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
That's good.